Good evening and welcome to the Stimpson Community School Core Information Evening. Over the course of this presentation, you will hear from a number of key staff who will share with you how best to support your child with their GCSE examinations, in particular with the core subjects of English, Maths and Science. I would like to introduce you to our pastoral team, which consists of myself as Leadership Team Link, Miss Harvey as the Head of Year 11, and Mrs. Pearce, who is our Student Support Officer. We work really closely to deliver the pastoral support that goes hand in hand with the academic side of things to give your child the best chance of success. To complete our team, we have a wonderful group of staff who, as well as working as form tutors, also deliver intervention in either English, Maths or Science in one of our 2 daily pastoral sessions. I will now hand over to the core subject staff to talk about support for their individual subjects.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and students. My name is Amir Walji. I'm the Strategic Science Leader for Science. I'm here to guide you through the GCSE Science qualifications and, most important of all, seek your support to help your son or daughter prepare for the GCSE examinations in summer 2021 so that they can achieve the best grade possible. Just a reminder that our students, your son or daughter, is following one of the 3 qualification routes. For a selected number of students, they will achieve 2 GCSEs in combined science and an entry-level qualification. For vast majority of our students, they too will achieve 2 GCSEs in combined science. For a smaller number of students, those who chose the triple science option, students will achieve 3 GCSEs in biology, chemistry and physics. The grades for the GCSEs will range from 1 to 9, depending on their tier entry. The concepts studied in triple science are in greater depth. The subject content for GCSE science is huge. It involves learning and retaining a huge amount of knowledge, understanding that knowledge and applying it in examination conditions. We also have to teach them the skills which are performed normally during practical work. All these 3 aspects are common to all GCSE specifications. All students will sit 6 examinations with 2 papers in each of the 3 sciences. The main difference is that the triple science paper is 35 minutes longer. Students will be entered for either foundation tier, where the highest grade possible is 5, or higher tier, where students are expected to achieve at least grade 5. But we really expect these students to be aiming for grade 6 or higher. The highest grade possible here is grade 9. The current provisional timetable looks like this. This includes a 3-week delay that the government announced a few weeks ago. The first exam starts in 2nd week of June, and the final exam, Physics Paper 2, is in the 1st week of July. At school, we are supporting with students' preparation in a number of ways. They are continuing with the normal lessons and assessed through end-of-module tests and personal learning checklists. This helps to gauge their learning. We also run intervention tutor times in the morning registrations, and we have after-school sessions which we call Unit 6, which run from 3:15 to 4:15. These are organized on a 3-week rotation basis. We will be having walking-talking mocks where students will practice attempting short past paper questions very formally, and then their answers shared and discussed. Online homework is set on a regular basis, and use is also made of the revision guides purchased last year. We have a number of revision tools in school, ranging from paper-based knowledge organizers and materials on students' work groups to IT-based programs and applications. Students are actively encouraged to access these on a regular basis. Your support is vital in enabling your son or daughter to achieve best grade possible. First, the basics, a place where your son or daughter can work quietly without being disturbed. If you can negotiate removal of electronic devices from their vicinity, that would be great. Mobile phones, tablets, laptops, games consoles are a great distraction during serious revision. You can also encourage and remind your son or daughter to start revising at home, as well as attending the Unit 6 sessions. You can be proactive, say around February time, by printing off past papers from the Pearson Edexcel website and encouraging them to attempt some, if not all, of the questions. If they brought the answers to school, we will mark them. Something even more basic. Please make sure they have or buy for them the stationery, the black pens, pencil, ruler, and also a scientific calculator. We expect to finish covering the specification by middle or end of March, and we begin revision straight after. We will help the students with exam techniques. In science, knowledge is power, so the ability to retain and apply facts will be crucial. We will support students to make sure that the questions are read and understood, and what is it that the examiners are looking for. And where calculations are involved, with practice, we will drill the expectation that students must show solutions before arriving at the answer. If you or your son or daughter have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Ask the science teacher in the first instance, then Mrs. Young, who is the Key Stage 4 coordinator for science, or Mr. Mantell, or myself. Thank you for listening.
Good evening. My name is Mr. Donnelly and I am head of the mathematics department. I'm going to share with you how best to support your child with mathematics in their examination year. Although some other subjects' exams have changed, maths is still examined in the same way. There are 3 papers which are equally weighted, with 80 marks on each paper, lasting 1 hour and 30 minutes each. The first paper is non-calculator, where students must show all their workings. Papers 2 and 3 are both calculator papers, and a general rule is what is typed into their calculator should go down on their paper. Students should have all their equipment in every lesson every day that they will need for their papers. They need to write in black pen with diagrams completed in pencil. They will also need a rubber, sharpener, ruler, protractor and compass. Students should also have highlighters to identify key words and instructions to help them answer the questions. A scientific calculator is essential in all lessons so they can learn to use all the function buttons they need to use in their exams. With the disruption this year, we have slightly adapted our approach to revision. At the start of lessons, exam questions from previous topics are given to students. Students should also bear in mind how many marks are available for questions. They should ensure they read the instructions again at the end of the question to guarantee they have answered the question in full. For example, on this question, they have also been given the mathematical reason for their answer. We will be creating personalised learning checklists for students from in-class assessments they do with us. They will be used so students will have their own individualised revision on areas they have not yet mastered. We will give students exam question practice on these areas. In tutor times, students are currently targeting topic areas that when mastered will cement a grade 5. In future rotations, this will be on individualised revision. In Unit 6, students will be revising prior topics individualised to their areas of weakness. We have had good attendance for the first 3-week rotation, but would love to see all of the students attend. Please encourage your child to attend these vital revision sessions. Through lockdown, we used Hegarty to ensure we could deliver learning in the best way possible. We have adapted the way we use the website so students can get the most out of it. Students receive 2 tasks a week on Hegarty Maths on topics they are currently learning in class. Students must watch the videos in full and make brief notes in their booklets. They must show their workings in the booklets for at least 2 of the questions. Other workings can be shown on a separate sheet. Using memory, students can revisit prior learning they have got right to ensure it is retained. Fix Up 5s direct students to areas they have previously got wrong. For more information in depth about Hegarty, you can follow this link to see the student presentation. Please see these links for extra resources students can use. The school sells revision guides at cost price, which you can buy through Parent Pay. The revision guides are the exam board's own revision guides, so if possible, please encourage your child to buy these. Thank you for taking the time to watch and listen. To help your child to reach their full potential in maths, please encourage them to revise SMART with the resources we provide for them on their areas of weakness. Use Hegarty at home to consolidate in-school learning, revise and fix areas they struggle with, and encourage them to take risks and attempt all questions in every exam.
Hello, my name is Claire Willoughby. I'm the head of the English faculty at Ken Stimpson, and I'd really like to show you an overview of the requirements for English language and English literature for this forthcoming year. There have been some important changes to examinations for 2021. English language remains unchanged, with 2 exams taken at the end of the course covering reading and writing, fiction and non-fiction. Both papers are an hour and 45 minutes and require students to be able to read and analyse given texts as well as write their own. There are, however, some important changes to the literature papers. There's no longer a compulsory question on anthology poetry or unseen poetry, and the course now ends with 2 exam papers. The first includes questions on Macbeth and an Inspector Calls and is 1 hour and 45 minutes. The second will only have questions on A Christmas Carol and lasts 1 hour and 20 minutes. We're all very pleased that the elimination of the poetry units will give us the required amount of time to cover the content required. There are a number of key skills that we will cover in lessons and students can revise at home in order to maximise their grade. Understanding language techniques is vitally important in analysing texts in Section A, and using them to write effectively in Section B is a must in order to maximise marks. Understanding similes, metaphor, personification, alliteration, etc. will form some of the revision students should do at home. Similarly, being able to comment on how writing is structured to add impact is vitally important. Thinking about how a writer shifts the tone of a piece or the perspective, what narrative voice they select, or how they organise their ideas will show analytical skill. Again, students should also be aiming to include structural techniques for affecting their own written tasks. As well as this, students should understand the structure of the exam papers. For English, students can learn the questions before they go in. The bit they don't know is what text will be given, but they can understand the timings of the exam questions and how to organise themselves effectively. For literature, students should be aiming to revise character, theme, content of all their set texts, as well as looking at past questions and exemplar answers. GCSE Bite Size has some really useful resources, and lessons and revision sessions in school will continue to provide useful resources too. As well as this, and like the language papers, understanding the structure of the paper, what the questions are like, how long they should spend on each question will be really, really useful in maximising their marks. The set texts that we cover for English literature are A Christmas Carol, An Inspector Calls and Macbeth. An Inspector Calls was taught to students in Year 10 and will be revised before their exam later in the year. We are currently teaching A Christmas Carol and preparing students for a mock exam on this nearer to Christmas. Although we should have covered Macbeth at the end of Year 10, this will be covered thoroughly this year. In order to revise their set text, students should consider ensuring that their knowledge is really detailed on the characters in the texts, the themes that the texts cover, some of the settings that are included in the text and the significance of these, and also, like the skills on the language paper, what techniques in terms of language and structure do the writers use in order to create impact for the reader. These can be revised in a number of ways, using large mind maps, for example, or using revision clocks can be really, really helpful. Again, Lots of ways of revising will be shown to students during the revision sessions in Unit 6. The English department is offering weekly revision sessions as part of Unit 6, and students are provided with revision tasks that they can do in the sessions, but they are also sent home with resources to continue revision at their own pace at home. As well as this, we will be providing students 50 15-minute revision tasks to support them in their revision for English. There are also revision books that students have purchased, and we will ensure students know how to use these to help them. Finally, there are numerous websites and YouTube revision resources such as GCSE Bite Size and Mr. Bruff videos, which are really extensive and very, very helpful. Finally, when we get closer to the exam sessions, key resources and last-minute revision strategies are always offered. Normally from 7:45 a.m, there'll be staff available to support your students in ensuring that they know exactly how to approach the exam when they get in. On a final note, I'd really like to encourage you or your child to ensure that they are using the best resource available to them, their teacher. If your teacher doesn't know you're struggling, they can't help you. So please ask if you've got questions or you need any further support in ensuring that you know how to revise at home and prepare for your exams.
Hello, my name's Jacqueline Harvey and I'm Head of Year 11 here at Stimpson School. This presentation so far has discussed the importance of the core GCSEs and how best to support your child to achieve their potential in these subjects. However, it is important to also consider here the subjects that students have opted into. Next summer, your son or daughter will be competing with Year 11 students from all across the city for school or college placements, and later for jobs or university places. The more good grades your child can attain at this level, the more competitive they will be. During our pastoral tutor sessions, some time is spent each week looking at careers options, and each student will have at least one careers appointment with a specialist during the course of the academic year. During this time, we will also be supporting students to create their own revision timetable, and we ask that you discuss this with your child and assist them in maintaining their momentum. Teenagers are less likely to be stressed if they feel prepared, but keep an eye out if your child has a tendency to overdo the revision. This can make them even more stressed. There is no set amount of time that your child should be revising because every child learns and retains information at different rates. But the idea of a revision timetable is to take larger tasks and break them down into smaller, more manageable chunks of no more than 25 minutes or so, followed by a short 5 to 10 minute active break. There is only so much a brain can assimilate in one sitting. Please ensure that your child has all the necessary resources to revise at home. A quiet, organised space, pens, pencils, a math set, calculator and paper big enough to be creative in their revision. Equally, sitting in a room surrounded by the same four walls, reading from the same textbooks isn't anyone's idea of a great day. If you are able to, take your child somewhere else to revise every now and again. This can really help. Perhaps a coffee shop with Wi-Fi or even the local park. A change of setting can be great for the brain. Your child should also explore plenty of revision techniques. Again, many of these will be discussed with them at school, such as revision clocks, mind maps and flashcards. But there are still plenty more for you to explore with your child. Anxiety is often a common reason for children to refuse to be productive. If you can resolve anxiety issues and reduce the stress they are under, you can gradually help them to build up the time spent on studying. And if your child returns from an exam saying it's all gone very badly wrong, make sure they don't dwell on it and get on with the next one. Finally, we look at 7 ways that you can help your child to absolutely smash their grade expectations at school. The first is to establish healthy daily habits. A healthy routine is vital for a child to be successful at school and in their exams. Encouraging positive daily habits helps children to break bad habits and encourages an achievement-driven mentality. Think about making those small changes, such as ensuring your child carries a bottle of water with them, or encouraging them to walk to school, as well as positive thinking. Students are some of the most sleep-deprived demographics of our population. It'll probably come as no surprise that sleep deprivation in young people has been linked to lower attainment in school due to the detrimental effect it has on memory, concentration, and the ability to learn. Remember, your teenager needs 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night. Healthy eating habits are especially beneficial for students taking exams or those who are under heightened pressure. To excel, children need to endure mentally tough challenges and still maintain their positivity. Instead of limiting the use of technology, encourage ways that students can use their laptops and mobile phones to benefit their grades. There are many apps that you can download that can help your child organise their studies and block unnecessary distractions. According to the UK's Department for Education, missing the equivalent of just 1 week a year from school can mean a child is significantly less likely to achieve good GCSE grades. Remember, now more than ever, every day counts. The key to being able to offer the best support to help your child succeed is being clued up on their academic performance throughout the year. To make sure you know exactly how your child is performing, remember to attend all parents and other optional evenings. Email is also an excellent way to keep in touch with teachers who have busy schedules. There are many studies that show the positive relationship between extracurricular activities and academic performance. They all conclusively show that students who participate in after-school activities achieve higher grades, aspirations, and positive feelings towards the environment. In Year 11, the most important after-school activity is the Unit 6 revision session. These cover key aspects of last year's curriculum and other key concepts, as well as examination techniques. I hope you found our presentation useful. Please don't hesitate to contact us if we can be of any further assistance.